Hey guys, Tarke here, and today we're looking at a Incinerate Elementalist POB I've been sent with no gear on, just as a heads up. Just if you're like, why has it got so little like numbers and everything? It's because he's just sent me like the base minimum template. So let's just read through what Meep sent me. Hey Tarke, love the content as always. He actually said that. I got an Incinerate Elementalist here. Ideally, I'd like to cut points in a cluster duel while maintaining some decent levels of defense. As per last time, any best and items would be nice. Budget option recommendations would be right as well, since I'm actually moving to PC soon. Thanks again, Meep. Right, so first thing that immediately seemed a bit weird to me is the inclusion of these nodes here. So generally, you want to be building hit-based or ignite-based. Thank you. You can sometimes do like hybrid-y hit-ignite builds, something that Rise has done a couple times in the past. But if that's the case, then you want to kind of go like all in, and then you take like all the ignite scaling, and then you run links, which kind of do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Otherwise, this just isn't worth it. So I'm going to assume we're going to go hit-based. Now, the main thing you really need when it comes to Incinerate is cast speed. You need all the cast speed on the tree. So, I'm going to make a fresh tree, just so that I can, like, kind of think like how I would do it. But, spoiler, I'm just going to take anything which says cast speed. So, the reason why you need ridiculous amounts of cast speed is the way that Incinerate works. It's got this kind of, like, awkward channel that builds up, you then release a wave. The more cast speed you have, the better it feels as an ability. Now you went for Paragon of Calamity, so you got the Reflect Immunity and a little bit of Leech. I'd probably go just Mastermind of Discord, but you can take Paragon of Calamity if you want. Either or. Obviously, if you take this, then you're going to be running Herald of Ash. I'd want to run Herald of Ash. I'd want the pen. I'd probably go for that. Right. So, take everything that says cast speed is the rule we're going for today. If it says cast speed, we're gonna take it. Now you went Mom originally, which is fine. I don't know if that's something that we'll stick with, but I'm not against going Mom for this. You want to get up to that. Definitely take that. Take precision. Definitely take that. Definitely take that. Definitely take that. If you're using a staff, you can come across to Wilding Barrier. You could maybe shove a Lava Jewel in here, and then get some block stuff going on. Block, spell block. So she generally uses staff for these characters. If you're going to come across this way, you kind of want to come across into Shadow because you want to get Lucidity. So I'd probably then also keep coming across. I'd be kind of tempted to even take maybe these 4% cast speed nodes if you got really desperate. A friend of mine, Min, played this build a while back. And his tree was basically, does it have cast speed in it? Yes. Take it every single node that gives cast speed. $152 life, level 80. Not great, not great. $201% life at level 94. That's better. Let's do the 1, 2, 3. Kind of want the AoE nodes as well. Not kinda, you want the AoE nodes. Let's get PV Ninja real quick. So, he went that way. There are 2 people playing this, basically. And they're doing it with pretty good numbers. 3.5 mil. 1.7 mil. This guy's gone full Headhunter. Feels good, man. This guy's just gone for like big boss levels, non-chaos, bunch of life. He's kind of got megalo voices, which you can't expect many people to be able to afford megalo voices. But definitely kind of think going into, they've both gone acro phase acro, which I think is an odd choice. I think going into Shadow Star is worth for the cast speed. Maybe you just come across and then stop at this point. Maybe you don't keep going right. They both read along that way and they skipped this completely. Maybe I should skip the middle section as well. One, two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Any bugs in that? I should make this tree some. I'm trying to remember how I routed my volatile dead detonate dead character I played last league, because it had similar-ish routing. I didn't need cast speed as much for that build because Necro just has a bunch of inbuilt cast speed. So I cut all of this section, and instead I came this way because obviously I had to take Spiritual Aid, and I came down into Marauder. I kind of dig that. I'll take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a jewel, so it's then 2 points. It's then a 2-point jewel, and then gives you some strength and some dex, which is good because it gives you enough strength going this way around. You could run a max level Vol Molten Shell if you needed to, and generally Vol Molten Shell is OP. You actually have basically enough anyway. You don't need to come that way then. What you could do is this. And just come down into Marauder Start. And you'd lop off this. Then 6% cast speed, 4 points. You could just do that, and then just go into Cluster Jewels. You could cut those points as well if you wanted to. You could also just anoint Lucidity and then cut this whole section. Anointing Lucidity and cutting this whole section would also be a very solid option. Because if you did that, you could then go really heavy on a Cluster Jewel setup. And then I would also shove Period of Flesh into the build. I'd be tempted to anoint Lucidity. You're losing out on nimbleness. Like, we're cutting a lot of cast speed, which kind of hurts. So 5% attack and cast speed there as well. I'm gonna kind of dig that tree. Maybe just cap out coordination. Let's look into Cluster Jewels. What are the good Cluster Jewel options for this? Because you can use channeling for mediums, which is nice. So what do you got? You're gonna go hit based, not dot based. You don't need fire exposure. You can get that easily enough. Ignited enemies you hit are destroyed on kill. Very nice for a non-crit build. So I probably would want that. Corpse destruction is very, very nice quality of life. So yeah, cremate would be good for you. Master of fire. So you don't need. Resist is always decent. You don't need sadist. Fuck out on there. Vengeful commander, nah. So you'd go for that prismatic heart and then destroying display. Or Doriani's if you need the leech. 2 jewels. Let's build. Cremate is really the main thing you're going for. Chance of blind is decent though. And then you'd go for mediums, you'd go for your channel. And then you've got a few really nice options here. So Enduring Focus is really nice, getting the chance to gain endurance charges, really, really solid. Rapid Infusion just means that you're gonna get your more benefit out of the more damage from infused channeling. If you wanted to go down the Kevlava route, this is just a little bit of additional block and spell block, which is okay. You don't need Unwavering Focus. So yeah, I would go for 1 Enduring Focus and 1 Rapid Infusion. Because you want the endurance charge generation. I don't know what you would run if you ran a second. Was there another good thing you could run with that? Yeah, I think you run 1 channeling, then run 1 of something else. And then you'd go for Jewel, add that in. So that way you get your endurance charge generation. And then what we're running for is other medium. So let's see. So he's got the option of area damage. If he's casting, you can go for a cast one. Damage while he has a herald could be an option. If you go for the flask ones, are pretty good. People often sleep on the flask ones. Minion stuff. He will have some minions out, but let's have a look at what area ones there are. Let's have a look. AoE damage, I mean, maybe you just go. Maybe you don't run a medium. Maybe you just run a small here. Otherwise, I think I'm going to shove a flask one in here, if anything. But maybe you just go small, and don't run a medium. Because this one's really good for you. Getting the endurance charges, getting the rapid infusion, really nice. Otherwise, I guess you could just go for rapid infusion, then just like an okay channeling. There was like a couple of okay ones. But the flask ones are decent. So ones I like in the flask ones, you've got Peak Vigor, which gives you life, which is really good. And then you've also got Mender's Wellspring, which gives you remove bleed when you use a life flask. That way you don't need staunching on your life flask, which is really nice. It also means that you can run unique life flasks and still have bleed removal. So that way you could run a Blood of the Karui, for example, instead. And then also getting the additional flask charge generation, increased life recovery from flask. I'd be tempted to just run one of these and Peak Vigor. And then you could add some random stat you need on the small, but we'll just do that and that. The Jewel. We'd obviously need to cut points down from this, but I kind of dig that. And then at that point, you've got a couple of options. You've got 2 really nice spots for Timeless Jewels, so you could shove if you end up going for the block stuff, taking Whirling Barrier, then this is a great point. Also, you don't need melding. I kind of still feel like just anointing lucidity. You lose out on a lot of cast speed. You lose out on coordination. This, and the 5% there. You can also put you can put a Thread of Hope here, which hits singular focus. And some of the star things, if I remember correctly. Good route out that way if you were to do it. Just have a look, see at some of the options. Thread. Yeah, it's the large which hits Whirling Barrier and these life nodes, which is a option, but you still want to take these nodes because these nodes are good. But yeah, sometimes you shove them there to grab Spiritual Aid. As you do Spiritual Aid, Whirling Barrier, and you like cut this whole section. Or you do it from this way around, and then you grab that, and then you can also grab Sovereignty. It's just worth noting that a large Thread of Hope is very strong there. Getting all of these nodes, Spiritual Aid, Whirling Barrier. It's really, really good. And then you can also get access to a couple more life nodes here, because you hit these 2 life nodes. It's really good there, actually. Medium that hits. So medium would hit that. It would hit divine. Does it hit that? Yeah. It's kind of okay-ish. It's not that great. Sadly. It needs to hit like one more good thing for it to really be worth. Yeah, no. I kind of dig that as a base. I'd be very tempted to, as I said, anoint that, drop everything past Deep Wisdom there. But as a base, that's fine, in quotation marks. I'm just gonna do this. I'd say do that, go block, shove a Kevlava Jewel in here. Maybe change the routing to then also take Enigmatic Defense. You could Unnatural Instinct. You could Unnatural Instinct, but no, you could Intuitive Leap and take Blast Cascade, Golem Commander, Enigmatic. You kind of want the buff effect, but that's if you end up rooting from the inside of the tree. It's a way of doing it. So if you root like from this side, for example. Let's say you went like that. You could then... There are so many different ways of doing There's so many different ways of doing this stuff. You could even come up with a tree which wouldn't be that ridiculous, where you go through minion damage and you take Spiritual Aid. A lot of people do like Necro, Incinerate Castle Channeling, or like Chieftain and Incinerate Castle Channeling. Those are all things people run. But then you've got a few interesting leap options, because you can take that, you can take that. If you were Mom, you could then also take these nodes. So if you do Mind Over Matter, I would strongly consider something kind of like that. Oh no, I'd still take that node for the Chaos Res. Oh, you can do that. So yeah, you could do something kind of like that. Skip the one bad node. Or you could just do that. And just take the spell damage on the block things. So yeah, if you wanted to go Mom, you could go that. And it's like Mom build. It really depends on how you want to do your defenses though. You'd have 169 life, might ever matter. It'd be okay. Be okay. Yeah. Kind of the idea of going Kevlar Duel instead there. I'm now trying to work out if that's worth. So if that was there, you would then go 1, 2. You'd root 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe still take that. Oh, you take that for the spell block. Because 6-cent spell block is good. You could maybe do something kind of like that. I don't know. I kind of like it being there. Feel free to just drop that. Maybe that's the first thing you drop. Because yeah, it still gives spell block, and if you're going for a block duel. So... This is just path of watch Tarke put the same nodes in and out of the tree a million times. I would strongly consider going that way, but anyway. Otherwise, I'm getting super distracted. You can go for ailment immunity. If you're going Kevlava doing the block shenanigans, you could then go for 2 small cluster jewels with block. And it's flexible sentry. And then shove resists or life or whatever you need on the smalls. All res. A lot of people go for like chaos res or all res. Maybe a tiny bit of flat life, but the flat life ones generally aren't that strong. But if you did that, you'd then have 50% chance to avoid ailments. You then get a pair of shaper boots for 35% chance to avoid ailments. That puts you at 85% chance to avoid ailments. Then you anoint Crystal Skin. If you're anointing Crystal Skin, you then can't anoint Lucidity. So if you're doing that, then actually taking Lucidity feels a lot stronger. So then if you're taking Lucidity, then maybe you do go for this rooting and skim points off elsewhere. This might be very unnecessary. Don't you already have ailment avoidance from Elementalist? Oh, right, yeah, you're an element. Oh. Yeah, you do. You do. So you do anoint that. You then don't run these. You would then run... what else could you run? You could run... Enduring Ward for more block, more endurance charge generation. You could run... block with spell damage, kind of cover life when you block. That's with the shield, annoyingly. Spell damage, attack damage, any spawns where you take increased damage. Oh, that's pretty good. You could take that and maybe do some Warcry shenanigans. Otherwise, you could just go for life small jewels. Chance to block while channeling. Channeling skills do increase damage. Decent. Could maybe go for Stoic Focus. Maybe do another medium with... Again, you could do another medium, which is Stoic Focus and Rapid Infusing. Rapid Infusion. Maybe that's what you do instead of the life one. So then if we just make this a life small jewel with Fettle. And then let's make another medium. Or then you just break past the building completely, and I'm pressing escape and enter. And that's not... I don't know. So yeah, at this point, I will then... Oh, there we go. Let me save. Oh, come on. Okay. Save. At this point, to talk about gearing, because we've kind of just gone backwards and forwards on the tree for ages, which isn't particularly interesting for anyone. That was very spooky. I thought that was all over then. Assault 3927. It's a lot of damage. So you could use Searing Touch, or you can use the staff, which everyone uses, these fire skills. Martyr of Innocence. Be a decent DPS increase, and then also gives you even more block. So yeah, if you had that, you'd get very easy block spell block cap. Very, very easy block spell block cap. Would strongly consider going Martyr of Innocence and running a Kevlar jewel here, and that's what you're converting the Mind of Matter into. You'd have to take some other jewels elsewhere for the anima, but you could just take like a 3-point jewel here, a 3-point jewel there. Yeah, I think that's what I do tree-wise. Otherwise, things which are notable, obviously combs if you're running Martyr. Otherwise, you could go Divine Flesh, and if you're going to go Divine Flesh route, you'd then use an Incandescent Heart. Incandescent Heart. It could be another solid option, because then you also gain some Elia's extra chaos, get a decent amount of life. It's okay. But I'd be tempted to just kind of go combs. It's an easy slap in the build. Actually, no, I wouldn't go combs, because you need to run all the golems, and you might struggle with sockets a bit too much with combs. That might be a bit too socket starved. Could just go for plus levels. Could just go for a plus level chest piece. If you do go Divine Flesh, which is another very solid option, I would 100% go for Incandescent Heart as your chest piece. Double Circle of Anguish is great if you can afford it. Otherwise, it's just life in every single slot. I do like the idea of going for a plus minion gems helmet for your minions. And I will leave a link to these guys' setups. The other nice thing about going for a chest piece is if you're running a second 6-link or 5-link chest, you can then do something kind of like this, or you've got all your golems. I don't know if you necessarily need the cast damage taken linked in there, but it is good quality of life. I wouldn't go Might of Matter. I would go Herald of Ash. I would go Anger, which you don't have. Oh, you do have. Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know. That's basically what I'd recommend. I would go for something kind of like this. I hope that was mildly helpful. Definitely Anoint Lucidity. Cast speed is the most important stat. You want cast speed on all of your slots. The other thing you could maybe look into, if you're running Combs and Martyr of Innocence, because Martyr of Innocence doesn't need your you don't need the Incinerate in the staff. What you could do is run your golems in the staff, only 5 link the staff, and then use Essence of Insanity gloves and go for the more cast speed, and then craft +1 on them, like +1 AoE gems, and maybe like do some wacky double corrupts. Maybe that's a bit stupid, but you could maybe mess around with something kind of like that. You could also maybe have the Essence of Insanity gloves that you use for mapping, and then you have like 2 Incinerates. You've got like a mapping Incinerate and then like a bossing Incinerate. You could also go for like weapon swaps. So the nice thing about using staffs is it's just easy to weapon swap between them. Vol Fireball is really good as well, to just slap into the spell randomly in like a 4-link somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Those would be the main things I'd recommend. Would think about maybe running an Intuitive Leap here, just to get all the spell block stuff and a little bit of AoE. Not really necessary by any stretch of the imagination. It's generally better, as you saw on this side. You could also then cut those points if you want to, but these are good because they give damage and golem life. But if you wanted to, you could do something kind of like that to save a couple more points. These are the jewels I'd recommend. Would consider running Divine Flesh. And if you ran the Divine Flesh Incandescent Heart route, you'd go for max Chaos Res small jewels there. But that would be very, very easy for you, fitting that into the build. But yes, I'm Tarke. Have a good day. I'll leave links to everything down below, by the way. Bye-bye.